What is the most needed set of skills for the next generation of jobs in America? When I was in high school, way back in the late 70s, my curmudgeonly history teacher tried to beat it into our heads that learning a foreign language and management skills would be needed in our future, as most US production jobs were disappearing, and the best jobs would be in managing foreign workers at home or abroad. He was right, at least in this case. I see no change in that prediction. Extra language never hurts. I've lost most of what I learned, but I get around in English, and I'm able to understand enough German and French to be able to make reservations, phone calls, or ask basic questions. And then some odd bits of Italian and Spanish. None of those are my mother tongue. But seeing a ton of different languages helps to understand new languages. Critical thinking. Knowing how to get along with people who don't think might be more important. Since so many bosses won't have critical thinking skills, knowing how to get along with them might allow you to keep your job. Being right and being employed might become two different things. Being adaptable. Things move and change so fast nowadays, and being able to keep up and adapt is a very crucial skill. Truth. I want to be an Autobot. However, I am currently failing at it. Getting 10 years of experience in 5 years. For a field that has only existed for 2 years. How about not clicking on the most obviously fraudulent emails in the world? That's a skill, apparently. I have had people put in their passwords when presented with an alert from Microsoft. I wish I was joking. My company has been burned by this so much that we use a service to send out phishing emails. If you do not report it phishing, or if you click on any of the links, you have to take training. Trade skills. There is already a massive shortage of competent people willing to do manual labor jobs like welding, painting, mechanics, construction, etc. If you are even vaguely competent and willing to do manual labor, you can get a $20 per hour job with benefits instantly nearly anywhere in the United States. Source: my actual life, covered in work but have no workers. I hear this from time to time, how the trades pay well and are badly needed, but they're also punishing on the body. You can get hooked on that $20 per hour construction work easily enough, but 10 years slip by faster than you think and your body is now paying the price. A percentage of folks move up to management or even running their own business, but the rest end up in an orange apron at Home Depot. Seems like the trades are fine as long as you have a smart exit strategy and start working on it immediately. Businesses often have trouble finding people that are dedicated to learning and reliably ensuring that the job is done well. Almost any skill you learn in college or trade school is little more than an introduction to the job you will be doing. The only reason why businesses look to educated people is that they suppose, sometimes inaccurately, that the person has proven that they can finish a long-term project and that they can learn. The reality is often easier than you think it is. Start low, learn to do your job well, and do it reliably. Eventually, others will slip up or quit, and the boss will look to you to fill in for the others that weren't reliable. This has happened to me in both regards. I have been advanced and I have been replaced. I have also been the one who needed a reliable person to replace an unreliable person. I have learned not to trust a degree. Elder care. Second this, finding care for my dad was a nightmare. Also, the pay sucks. Data science, analytics, research, machine learning, and so on. This is a dumb question and have no clue about machine learning, but how well versed does someone need to be in this? If you can find the relevant data sets, wouldn't the machine learning do all the analytics? There's quite a lot involved in just getting this to place. Most businesses do some reporting badly and have badly structured or messy data. Getting to actionable business return on investment insights and then selling them to leadership is quite difficult and therefore pays pretty well. How to use a search engine. Any search engine. When I worked in Tech Report, a lot of the calls were from people who couldn't use Google to find the solution to the problem at hand. A friend of mine got a job as the tech support guy at a company without any experience in that type of work. He just Googled everything and was able to figure out how to fix things based on what other people had said. They thought he was a tech wizard, but really just had good Google skills. That's how everyone does tech support. Hand-to-hand combat, juggling, javelin throwing, identifying genus and species of seahorse, and becoming fluent in most dialects of Morse code blinking. I don't know what kind of future you're imagining, but I kinda like it. Everyone is talking programming. I feel the most needed set of skills are going to be related to piping, laying data lines, and fixing infrastructure. Something creative, because man, is this country becoming depressing. People are creative, it's just hard to make a living off of. I really hate saying this, because it makes me sound like some angry old man, but based on my experience as a 20-something, professional personality, but not annoyingly so. Employers don't like stuck-up workers who only care about work. They want someone who will speak out against wrongdoings and keep rationality in mind, but they also want someone who remains professional throughout. Physical strength. Tell me why LiftBot 3000 shouldn't replace you? Go. Research skills. You have the internet at your fingertips. Use it. Don't just go to college and pretend to be an expert in everything. Learn. Not the most needed, but interpreting statistics. If you torture the data enough, it'll tell you what you want to hear. Scavenging. Lol. When the automation really kicks in, we're all going to be eating out of a dumpster. I have been hearing this for literally 30 years. It's like the economics version of Christ is returning. The apocalypse is upon us. Honey making. Bees be disappearing. This is why I'm happy that my uncle is a hobbyist expert beekeeper. I don't know the actual term, I'm sorry. He really cares about bees and knows how to work with them humanely. You know what the best part about it is? He's allergic to bee stings and he still does it. It really goes to show how far some people will go to care for the animals that live here. Almost any of the trade jobs. Typewriter repairman, disagree. Robot maintenance. The wars of the future will not be fought on the battlefield or at sea. They will be fought in space, or possibly on top of a very tall mountain. In either case, most of the actual fighting will be done by small robots. And as you go forth today, remember always your duty is clear: to build and maintain those robots. Communication. Work gets done so much faster when you can communicate properly with others. I came here to point out that Reddit loves focusing on technical skills, but soft skills are the thing that will determine, for most people, whether or not you'll get and keep a job. 9 times out of 10, no one cares if you're a brilliant programmer. If you can't properly communicate what you're doing, maintain work relationships, or comment your code, you aren't useful in a business. You aren't physically capable of churning out all the programming, design and testing too, needs of a large organization. No one is. I went to school with several brilliant engineers, all of which handily mopped the floor with me in our shared classes. They're unemployed because they're intolerable people that no one wants to work with. Working 12 hours and without food because you can't afford, like a proper first world country. I think he was trying to say, can't afford to finish your sentences. I'm not from America, but professional skills are the same all over the world. You didn't say which skills, soft or technical. From my experience so far, what I think that will be some mandatory or must-haves are: technical jobs will never disappear, programming or anything else related. They will just shift towards new trends. Soft skills, what we had since the beginning of time, those will still be there. It depends on what you personally expect to achieve in your career. Self-management skills are always a good addition to anyone. A shift that I've seen for a couple of years, it seems the ability to work as independently as possible, in a team or solo, as in to not rely on anyone, because you will most likely have all the resources available. Jobs that are present today in most companies that require data manipulation or calculus to be done manually, those will be the first to disappear in the next 20-something years due to the automation, RPA or whatnot. The market seems to shift in that direction, so I would not recommend anyone to pursue a career in this direction. It's up to you. Outsourcing is becoming a big thing, at least in Europe, so I guess the same thing is happening or will happen in the US as well. To be fair, it doesn't make too much of a difference if you're being outsourced to a different company. Work is still work. The ability to recognize that just because that's how we have always done it, doesn't mean it shouldn't be changed. You should always be changing and improving. Being able to adapt to change is a great skill. Mental health. I agree with this, but the way things are going, at least US-wise, services are the first thing to be cut, and everyone is either overworked or offices are closing. We need society to care about mental health before it's considered important. I will advise my daughter to do something that can't be outsourced or done by a robot computer and stable. I did computing science and software development going on 11 years now, and I hate it. There is not much job security, constantly outsourcing and competing with cheap labor, and the pay isn't what it used to be. If I could do it all over again, I'd get me a nice government job and stay in it for the long term. Get a nice pension that lasts for as long as you are alive. Retire at 55 and enjoy. Just got back from a Brené Brown event. She says, ability to change or adapt. Is it because people will constantly have to learn a new career after their old one gets automated? I work in IT. People that use a computer daily on the job should actually know how to work a computer instead of calling us all the time. No, then you'd be out of a job. Silly. As someone who works at an IT help desk, I can say it is the ability to read and listen. Almost every job, at least in the US, requires that you use a computer. The people who have the most trouble are the ones who don't read the notifications or listen to the experts. I think people should be trained on how to use social media properly. Social media can be a great tool for networking and for growing a business. One wrong post can destroy your personal and professional life too.